Hi, my name is Farah Nadia. I will present about the introduction and the scandal of the Wirecard AG. Okay, the Wirecard AG is a Germany-based provider of software solution to financial services industry. Okay, the company itself split into three segments, which is the first one, purchasing and issuing. The second one, call center and communication service, and lastly, payment process and risk management. The payment process and risk management company offered goods and service for transaction acceptance, electronic payment processing, and associated activities. And the acquiring call center and communication service division offered value-added services, customer after sales services, and mailing service. It's offer payment, mobile payment solution, enterprise integration, transaction testing, and the payment hub client select pins, which is in risk management. The risk management tool included about the fraud prevention, credit worthiness check, and the personal solution. Next, I will explain about the scandal of the company, which Wirecard was founded in 1999 and has a market value of over 27 billion US dollar. The German Financial Intelligence Unit, which is FIU, has officially admitted that it did not handle high risk SDR. And Visa Mastercard have been concerned about the Wirecard business network since 2010. In 2018, Wirecard joined the exclusive BKAA2013 index and is valued at over 27 billion. A senior executive of Wirecard was suspected of falsifying account, money laundering, and round-tripping in its Asian Pacific operation. Shareholders and bondholders have filed a class action lawsuit against the auditor, as well as criminal accusation. KPMG independent inquiry come to the conclusion that Wirecard could not provide through record an executive board meeting. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nur Shakira binti Sabudin with metric number 280250. So I will explain to you about the impact of scandal to the auditor. The implications of the scandals towards the auditor is that it has raised questions about concerns of the problem regarding audit independence, and it is the responsibility of an auditor to make choices during the audit and financial reporting procedures objectively. So the scandal will show that the auditor is lack of audit independence. Thus, if lack of audit independence increases, so the risk that the auditor may be biased will also increases. Lack of independence will also lead towards poor audit quality, forceful earnings management. Thus, it will generate lower quality result. If the relationship between the audit and its client grow closer, a deeper bond is built and may be more inclined to focus on the best interests of management, even if it compromises the objectivity and caliber of the audit. Due to many scandals faced by EY, the auditor will be seen as someone who lacks audit independence and will face loss of trust from their clients and also the society. The next impact of scandals to the auditor is regarding the scandal of EY charging low fees for its audits could put pressure on audit firms to reduce the resources allocated to auditing work. In order to secure more lucrative consulting and other business, the paper contends that EY tries to entice the audit industry by offering cheaper prices. In the event of simply reputational losses, the auditor is more concerned with providing enough audit quality than with endeavoring to requirements. EY will face losses when penalized. Therefore, the auditor will only provide poor audit quality. A weak audit system will reduce customer trust in the company. That will result to not only EY incurring losses from penalties, but also reduce the number of clients due to lack of funds to carry out the audit process. The audit profession has been disputing over for many years, raises the bigger question of whether it is really a legitimate expectation that an auditor using standard audit techniques could be expected to detect fraud. The auditing standards example of fraud, risk concerns, and related solutions shouldn't be utilized as a full checklist by auditors. If auditors are to uphold their professional obligation to take into account obtaining reasonable certainty regarding the absence of major misstatement in the financial account, whether due to fraud or error, they must tailor their audit response to the identified fraud risk and dynamic to changing business environment. The impact of scandals to the auditor will make them become more careful in handling the audit process.
Hi, I'm Cikgu Norikma and I'm going to present about the auditor rules in this scandal. So, as far as we know, the auditor is responsible for ensuring the accuracy of the financial data that the company's board relies on for tracking purposes. Ernst & Young, the auditor for the collapsed German fintech business Wirecard, had issues about the unconventional arrangements under which the company's cash was housed in bank accounts that it did not control as far back as in 2016. The auditor then gave his seal of approval to Wirecard's financial results for the next 3 years with these arrangements in place. Mark Lipser, who is serving the private Wirecard shareholders who brought the case, said that Ernst & Young's auditing work was a disaster and his clients are confident that Ernst & Young should be caught and punished. In 2016, one of EY's own employees alerted the company of information that top management at Wirecard may have committed fraud, and that one of those managers had tried to bribe an auditor. The fact that an employee of EY noticed suspicious activities at Wirecard for 4 years before the payment corporation disintegrated in Japanese, greatest post-war corporate fraud, will intensify the pressure on the auditors, which audited Wirecard for more than a decade and delivered unqualified audits until 2018. Investors in Wirecard will suffer losses of billions of euros as a result of the company's failure in June have filed lawsuits against EY, which is already the subject of an investigation by Germany's auditor over APAS. Since the issue came to light, it has been claimed that Ernst & Young failed to collect essential account information from Singapore's OCC Bank in order to ensure that the bank held the 1 billion euros in cash on behalf of Wirecard. This is a standard auditing practice and should have been followed much earlier so that the fraud might have been identified. The newly appointed chief executive of Wirecard has pointed out that the fraud should have been uncovered with just the most fundamental of checks. This is due to the fact that they agreed to sign off on the accounts for more than a decade and that questions regarding Wirecard's accounting practices were progressively doubted by journalists and investors. And also, it has been stated that the company have instructed its partners on how to prepare for any potential response. They have also highlighted the fact that Wirecard intentionally set out to deceive investors and Ernst & Young as a part of the scam that they committed.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Alisa Handani binti Johaizar. In this video, I'm going to talk about Code of Ethics for Wirecard Company. And before that, the auditor for Wirecard Company is Ernst & Young, which is known as EY. Okay, the first Code of Ethics is integrity. For integrity is very necessary so that auditor can act honestly and firmly in conducting audit to improve the quality of the result from the examination. The most alternative ethical choice that EY will have made is scrutinizing Wirecard financial operation. The auditor should have included the deficiencies suspected in the audit and obtain more information to to support the verbal reassurance made by the Wirecard. And if the information gathered by EY did not meet their auditing criteria, they will have offered an opposing opinion. And EY should have noticed some red flag regarding the company financial health because there's $2 billion that were unaccounted for. Okay, for the next code of ethics is objectivity. Okay, for the objectivity is internal auditor make decision based on fair evaluation of all the important details without being excessively swayed by the personal or outside interest. Based on Wirecard cases, EY might have well made the most ethical challenging decision by carefully examining Wirecard financial activity. The auditor would have incorporated the alleged flaw in the audit and gathered more evidence to back up with Wirecard verbal assurance, and EY should have provided different assessment if the data they collect did not meet the auditing standard. Okay, the third one, code of ethics, is confidentially. Internal auditor respect the right and the value of the information they receive, and they never share it without proper authorization unless they are required by the law or their line of work. According to Wirecard cases, EY employees have voiced a concern about potential fraud, but EY continued to present Wirecard financial reports with their unqualified opinion in violations of the accounting standard. As an auditor, they should have refrained from using the data in any way that will be adverse to the organization's ethical and legitimate objective, the law, or their own interests. Okay, next is competency. Auditors use their skill, knowledge, and experience to perform internal auditing service. According to the Wirecard cases, EY have been charged by disgruntled bondholder and stockholder who allege it failed to fulfill its duties, but now they claim it was deceived. But there are obvious signs that this was a complex and sophisticated fraud involving numerous parties in different countries. And the last one is professional behavior. Okay, professional behavior must comply with all applicable law and rules that should avoid any action that damage the profession's reputation. Cases like Wirecard fraud have brought ethical auditing judgment back into public eye, and accounting authority are placing more and more emphasis on issues like integrity and ethical behavior.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Anisha binti Zulkifli. My metric number is 270536. I would like to present about a conclusion. So, in conclusion, we can conclude that Wirecard AG company is one of the company that having a scandal issue to the auditor. Wirecard AG is a Germany-based provider of software solution. They divide to three segments, which is payment process and risk management, acquiring and issuing, and call center and communication service. Based on the background of scandal, we can conclude that a top executive at Wirecard has been falsifying account, converting illegal money, and having a scandal issue. This clearly shows that the Wirecard AG company has issue related to accounting fraud. With the enactment of this, the shareholders of the company have filed a class action against the auditor as well as criminal charges. This is because auditor has audited this company and found apparently this company has a material misstatement. In addition, auditor also did not carry out its proper responsibility to ensure whether this company show a fair view. In addition, the occurrence of scandal in this company has had an impact on auditors. Auditors are one of the institutions or party that are responsible for providing an opinion whether a company has a problem, such as a material misstatement or so on. If one auditor is not able to carry out their responsibility properly, this will jeopardize other auditors. However, from a positive angle, we can improve the attitude of integrity among auditors. When there are mistakes like this, auditor will be more careful in choosing a client and will also perform their responsibility by conduct quality audit, not just for profit. For code of ethics, the code of ethics is the rule and standard for how company and group must act when performing internal audit. In this case, we can conclude that the arrest of the business former CEO that stole more than $2 billion from the German corporation is involved in ethical case. There are several of the fundamental principles that apply to the incident, which is integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, competency, and professional behavior. This fundamental principle of ethics is really important to make sure that someone or auditor do their job properly without having issue or others. So we can conclude that the Wirecard AG company having a scandal issue between auditor and do not follow code of ethics that can lead them to be a better auditor. So that we can conclude that Wirecard AG company is one of the company that having a scandal issue in Malaysia. That's all.